Says you spent all day making a pumpkin pie.
No.
Is that why you mad, bro?
I'm excited I made that pumpkin pie. I'm more than excited.
Our house smells incredible.
It smells like pumpkin spice.
It's like better than any candle ever created.
By the way, this is our official start in the middle of this conversation, just so you know.
Hey
everybody! Surprise fall! Speaking of fall, Rach gave me tons of smack talk because I wanted to make a pumpkin pie from scratch. Not the crust. I'm not a crazy person. But I wanted to make most of it from scratch. I wanted to buy the pie pumpkin. I wanted to do all the fixins. And she was like, oh my God, how are you going to do this? Why don't you just buy the pumpkin filling, you fool? And so I got the pie pumpkin. It was really fun. It didn't even take that long. You slice it in half. You pull the seeds out. I actually enjoy doing that. You get the goop off the seeds. I've got seeds now ready to bake and make them into crunchy little treats. And then you just put them in the oven and then you just scrape the pumpkin off. It's easy. It's as easy as scraping it out of the can once it's baked.
Is it as easy as pie?
Ah, that was a good one. Right?
I shall just have to eat some humble pie.
You're going to be on to these pie jokes all
That's it. I don't think there's any more pie jokes.
So we didn't know if we were going to do a Halloween episode, but I had a sneaking suspicion we were going to. But we are more than excited to be back.
It worked out in our schedules. Hope everyone's fall is going fabulous.
Rach, how's your fall going?
Parts of it are great, and parts of it are tricky.
Yep.
I
got really kicked in the nuts by fall, and I love fall so much. But fall gave me shin splints, and then gave me a bum ankle, and then gave me a fever, and gave me a really poopy job. So, like, I have not had a lot of fun in the fall, but
other things are going well.
Yeah, I love the fall.
We know.
Yep.
We know. You're a fall girl.
I watched a lot of scary movies.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
It's been a good fall, and it'll get better.
Yeah, I
don't know if
season.
I believe what I just said. I don't know if it's been a good
I
fall.
don't know if life's going to get better, but I love the season so much that it's like, how bad can life be?
Yeah, it's like, at least it's fall.
That's so true. At least it's fall. I mean, how bad can it get? When it's January, I'll tell you how bad it could get. There's another level of badness once it's that cold.
It's true. I feel like I'm a little tired at work right now. Wait until January.
Oh, my gosh. You hermit like a madman. Not you. Everyone. Many Minnesotans. Yep. So anyways, we're excited to be back for you, and we watched a chilling movie. Rach, what movie did we watch?
We watched the classic 90s thriller, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, I do. I know it. I know what you did.
What's this?
This is the theme song.
What?
I know what you did last summer.
Who's that song by?
It's sung by the Dickies, same people who do the Killer Clowns theme song.
Oh,
Yep. Rach.
Whoa. We're a little rusty. We got this.
Rach,
stay with us.
This is your one scary movie of the year?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep,
Well,
I agreed. I said I do one a year, listeners, and this one had just the right amount of intrigue that I said, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not a big scary movie person. I know we've talked about that before, but I get nightmares, and my nightmares are usually worse than the film. I kind of like create, images in my head, and it just, it's a thing.
You did watch the end of the second Fear Street movie. You watched about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
But that's not scary in context when it hasn't, like, built up to it.
Yeah.
You know, if you just jump in at the very end, it's like, I mean,
some people would say that's one of the most thrilling parts when it's like the final girl moments, you know what I mean? Like the final girl's trying to survive the killing.
Yeah. I don't know. It looked pretty gross, to be honest.
Yeah, it was pretty bloody.
It's pretty gory.
Yep.
So not into it. But people seem to enjoy it. Did you like it?
The Fear Street movies?
Yeah.
I thought they were all right. I thought if I was in junior high, I would have loved them. But because I'm, young mid-30s, I thought, I don't know. I think these have passed me by, or I passed them by, one of the two.
Sure.
I saw the new Halloween movie, though. Not super great, but scary.
Yeah?
If that makes sense.
It
Like,
does.
when you're like, this movie's not that great, like, there's some missteps. Like, for one thing, how they shoot at Michael Myers is like a bunch of idiots. They're like always missing him, and they're like as close as I am to you in our studio closet. And, but at the same time, it still is scary.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I shouldn't have loaded my gun with blanks. Dang it.
Why was I doing this? Well, for those folks who are going to prepare to tackle I Know What You Did Last Summer, what would you tell them this movie's about?
Yes. So here's my synopsis if you haven't seen it, and then go watch it to follow along, because I'm assuming we'll have some way, shape, or form some spoilers in this.
Yes.
So I Know What You Did Last Summer. It takes place in this quaint little town in North Carolina.
That's right.
North Carolina. It's the 4th of July. It's 1997, we think.
Yeah, about. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I think one of their Letterman jackets had 97
on it.
on it.
96 or 97? I can't remember. It was filmed maybe in 96 and came out in 97?
Okay.
I don't know. We'll figure it out
One
soon.
of their Letterman jackets had the year 97 on the sleeve. So that's what I'm going off of.
Yeah.
And we've got a group of 4 friends, 2 guys, 2 girls. Everyone's dating.
You're about
They're the
97,
most
by the way.
attractive people you've ever seen in your life, all together.
They're a hot quartet.
Wow. Wow.
And like you get a dark-haired and a blonde sandy-haired for a guy and a girl. Mm-hmm. Like, so whatever your type is.
Well,
hair
whatever your
color-wise.
white type is.
Yeah, whatever your Caucasian hair color of choice is.
And no redheads.
No redheads. Gross.
Gross. Just kidding. But yeah, so they're out celebrating 4th of July one night, and an accident happens where they run over somebody in the street. And they decide that they're going to dump the body, because that's what you do when your prefrontal cortex is not developed. You don't think through it, and you're like, this is the only way out of this.
This is how we're going to get out.
This is how I solve this.
Well, because they had all encountered new things. So Ryan Phillippe was the quarterback or something on the football team, and then he was super rich, and he was worried his dad was going to like ream his ass for like destroying the car, even though who cares. And he didn't even talk about football scholarship, but I assume that was in play. And then Sarah Michelle Gellar won the county beauty pageant.
Yeah, they would have taken her crown right off her head.
Yeah, you hit somebody the night
Shame.
you got this crown. Yeah, give that back. And then Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. had lost their virginities to each other. So like, everybody had a big night.
Well, they were feeling very vulnerable,
Yeah.
I think. So a lot of bad choices were made. But anyways, everyone's life kind of fizzles after that. But we come back to our characters a year later, and they start getting like letters in the mail, and weird stuff starts happening saying, I know what you did last summer. And they're trying to figure out, who knows? Is it somebody in the group? Is it somebody else? So yeah, it's very interesting. And so yeah, it just kind of follows. It's kind of like a little murder mystery, a little bit.
Yeah, and I think we'll get into this as we continue along in the podcast. I actually get more murder mystery than slasher through significant portions in the movie.
Yeah, as far as a slasher, like by today's standards,
I mean,
this
it's
is
classified as a slasher.
Yes, but it's very tame, I would say,
Yes.
as far as today's standards, which I think says a lot about maybe the direction we're going as a society.
Yeah, I mean, that could be true, but like,
we're just so desensitized to gore now.
Scream came out right before this.
Yeah.
Like a year or two before this. I think
Yeah.
Scream came out in 94 and this comes out in 97 or maybe it was
I
96,
suppose that was
97.
a
I don't
bit more
remember.
gory than this.
Yeah, for sure. And all the Friday the 13th and stuff. I don't know, man. I think that this movie's just light on the gore. And we'll get into a little bit of why that is.
Can't wait.
Yep, so there is something to be
Can't
said
wait.
about that.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little bit about this movie.
Please.
We just brought up Scream. Kevin Williamson was the writer. He wrote Scream as well.
Oh,
so he's
okay.
kind of like your 90s horror writer. Like,
Yeah.
With those two films. These two films, Scream and I Know What You Did, are like known as the revitalization of the slasher movie in the 90s. So it had kind of died in the 80s. They
Yeah.
just got too many of them. People were just not interested. And then they're brought back with these two movies. And then you get Halloween H2O coming up. And that movie's good. We just talked about it.
We did.
It's got LL Cool J in it.
Yep. And when we talk about Halloween H2O, I always think of it being like in water.
Yeah.
Is water involved in it a
No,
lot?
but it would be cool if it took place on a boat. I think that would make sense, Halloween H2O.
Oh, so
or an
why-
underwater, like, aquatic
Remind me why it's called
science
Halloween
center.
H2O?
Because Halloween 20 years later.
That's it.
Yep.
So the H2O, yeah, that's the tricky part for me. Anyone else think that had to do with water for some reason?
People used to make fun of that. They used to say, "Are you guys going to water this weekend?" I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep. Good one, guys.
People are so
Nailed it. But he wrote this before Scream, but Scream was the first movie created. So he was shopping this around. People weren't that interested. Then Scream gets picked up, becomes this huge deal, and they're like, "What else do you have? Give us more stuff."
Yeah.
And so they go with that. He was an expert with teen drama. You mentioned that this movie takes place in North Carolina. What other teen drama takes place in North Carolina? Was shot and takes place?
Dawson's Creek.
You got it.
Really?
He's the creator of Dawson's Creek.
Whoa! Wow.
Hot diggity dog.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and actually they filmed parts of this movie in and around like some of the Dawson's Creek stuff, which we mentioned that with another movie this last summer too that was like tied to Dawson's Creek, where there's like this, we use like the same sets and things like that, and that's like a thing with this one as well.
So it was not filmed in North Carolina, right? But this is like the North Carolina set? This
So-
is like small town, East Coast fisherman town
It
set?
was supposed to be in North
LA?
Carolina.
Okay.
Yep, but you are correct in something that you just mentioned, that the coastline, the coastline's super rocky.
That's not, I don't know the North Carolina coastline, but it didn't look like a North Carolina coastline to me.
It was not. North Carolina's coastline is very flat. It's very flat. There's no big rocky fixtures or anything like that.
Sure, no
It's
big
just,
bluffs
yeah,
overlooking the
it's just a flat,
ocean for one to fall off on into
Yep.
the water.
it's just
or-
a flatland coastland. It doesn't look like Maine.
Yeah.
And
yes.
so what they did is, they filmed parts of this movie in California,
Mm-hmm.
and then they filmed other parts in North Carolina. So they kind of split their time.
Oh, I thought it looked a little like the 101.
But
to be
at
honest.
least they did North Carolina somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't just say it's in North Carolina, but it all takes place in L.A.
You would have thought that the more important part of that would have been to get like the geography piece correct as far as like the coastline versus like the town itself. Like you could have a little like quaint little fisherman village set in LA, but normally don't you get like your scenery shots on location?
I would think so.
One would think.
Well, because then your people who are from North Carolina are like, oh, I kind of know what part of the
Yeah.
country they filmed this in.
Yeah, like you have your establishing shots, like we're in Chicago. Here's Chicago skyline.
Yep.
Okay, now we're in
Los Angeles
yeah,
studio.
Los Angeles. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not a movie maker, but that's what I thought.
I mean, we always are advocates for like go to the plays, hire the extras from there because we're from Minneapolis, so of course we're gonna fight for that. So the idea of this script though comes from a book that was out in 1971, and this book was super popular in like the 70s and 80s.
Oh.
So much so that when they had people come and they were doing casting, they were like 60% of all the girls had read this book. Like over
Wow.
half of them would be like, I read the book growing up. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
Is the book by the same name?
No, the book is by a gal named Lois Duncan.
Yeah.
Book is way different than the movie.
Okay.
So the book is not a slasher.
Oh, okay.
The book is just suspense. It's the kids hit the cyclist who's riding his bike.
Yep.
They definitely kill him.
Mm-hmm.
They get rid of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody must have seen them because they start getting notes and they're like, oh no, somebody's seen us. And they're trying to like keep it all hush hush.
Okay.
But it's not them getting hunted down by a killer.
Mm-hmm. Is the book called though I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yes, the book is called I Know
okay.
What You Did Last Summer. I saw a cover page from it. It's got a chick with really frizzy brown hair on it. You'd imagine
Not
she's
like
from the 70s.
any of our hotties in this
No,
one.
no.
Nope.
So one thing that she hated this, not only because they turned it into a slasher, but she also hates it because her daughter got killed in a drive-by shooting in the late 80s. And they were like, how could you take my book and you make all this death in my book when I've had this like traumatic experience happen to me with death? So she was not happy. And
Gotcha.
they actually, like during production, they tried to keep her away from the project, knowing that she was going to hate it. They're like, hey, we'll just keep her away. We'll just continue on with this project and turn it into the slasher that we want to make it into.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Now, the idea for this, though, to turn it into a slasher, was based on what short story, Rach?
Oh, the urban legend,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
About the man with the hook. I don't even know what the story's called,
Okay.
right? Right? Is that what you're getting
Yeah,
at?
yep, for sure.
It's the hook guy. It's
Yeah,
the
tell
hunt-
us, like, you don't have to tell us a ghost story, but it would be cool if you did. But
All right.
yeah, tell us a story
Gather
about
around,
the hook.
get close to the mic. 'Twas a dark and stormy night, but maybe not that stormy. We heard a scratching at the window, and we're in our car. I'm terrible.
No, that's okay. I'm just doing the sound effects. You keep rocking and rolling. You're doing great.
And maybe somewhere over the radio is the news announcer talks about a convict just escaping from an insane asylum. He's a convict and an insane asylum. It's one and the same. It's
double
crazy.
whammy.
Super scary. And he's most notable because he has a hook for a hand, so be on the lookout.
How did he get that hook for a hand? That's what I want the story to flush out.
Yeah, I wish they would go into that. Again, it's really funny because as the characters in this movie are like kind of telling this story, there's all their like they have different versions of it. They're like, no, it was the hook that was scratching, or like, no, it was the dripping of the blood on the car. You know, it's funny because I thought like, gosh, yeah, I don't know how that story goes, but I know of that story.
Yeah, for sure.
Like everybody had like a cousin who was maybe like 4 years older than you, and one time you all got together on Christmas and you all got into the bathroom and you turned the lights off. And you had them the flashlights going around and you told scary stories and it legitimately freaked you out.
Yeah, like Are You Afraid of the Dark style.
Yes.
Like that's how you tell it.
Yes.
Yep.
At least that was my experience with this
For
story.
sure. Me too.
Yep.
And I remember it always like also starts with, dude, this is a real story.
Yeah.
Like my cousin knows some people who like know the person.
And was yours your cousin as well that told you the story?
I think so.
Isn't
I think it was
that
an
weird?
older cousin.
What are your older cousins? What's that about?
Yeah. And who told the oldest cousin?
Yeah, that's such a good point. Who passed that knowledge down?
How'd you get that story?
These are good questions.
Can you think of any other like scary stories like this, the urban tales that get tossed around?
I know one.
Do you know somebody who?
I got so excited.
Yeah, you really did.
Okay, this is a true story.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's something kind of similar in like the person goes to bed every night and their dog licks their hand to let them know that they're there. It's just like a thing. And then
this isn't Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Is it?
That kid's book.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is like this one like haunts
It's called
me
The
because
Tongue,
of dogs.
I think, right?
Yeah. And then like the
Or
next day,
Humans Lick Too.
the person wakes up and shush. Oh my gosh, you just jumped the gun.
That's the title of it. I
Oh,
just gave you the title.
It's the title?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, anyways, yeah, they wake up and the dog's gone, or in the gory versions of this, like, there's blood everywhere. The dog's blood is written on the mirror that says humans can lick too.
Oh, that's so great. Sorry, I spoiled that ending
Yeah,
for you.
come on.
I just remember the title. I was like, oh yeah, humans can lick too. That's cool.
Damn it.
Oh my gosh.
You would be terrible. I would be so mad if we were at a campfire right now and you like blurted that. I'd be like, Ty!
Oh, Rach, are you telling humans can lick too?
Oh my gosh!
Wait, are you telling the story of the hook story?
Why is that the title of that?
I don't know.
It gives it away.
But that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book, have you
Yeah.
ever read that book?
No, I don't think so.
It's so fun. It's like great for middle school.
Yeah.
Like the stories are like creepy but not scary. Like they're not going to keep you up at night, but you're going to think about them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's very fun content.
Yeah.
For like a middle school kid who's into horror.
Yeah.
Or who wants to start getting into it.
As a middle schooler, like the spookiness like version that I would want to go to would be like R.L. Stein Goosebumps. That's about as far as I could go.
For middle school?
down
6th through 8th?
Down the spooky train. Well, yeah, I guess it was more elementary, but
Yeah. I was
from a
going to say,
reading standpoint.
for
but,
me, that'd be like 4th and 5th grade or 3rd through 5th grade.
Yeah.
But once we get into 6th grade, I want to start seeing some of that scary stuff.
yeah, I never graduated out of Goosebumps.
R.L. Stein.
I was always a Goosebumps
Fear
kid.
Street is R.L. Stein, babe.
I wouldn't watch that. I saw those shows. They look terrible. They're
Yeah,
super
that's
scary.
R.L. Stein.
Even
That was for the older kids.
Even sometimes Goosebumps was a little much for me, right?
Really?
Like
Which
Night of the
one?
Living Dummy.
Oh, that's the scariest one.
I know. That's why. That's
Yeah.
why. I think there's a camping one too that kind of creeped me out a bit. But
Is it the one where they're on a different planet?
and there was a scratch. No, not a different planet. I think it
Oh,
was like
okay.
camping in the woods or something.
Yeah.
Don't know.
There's one where they're all, like, I think there's ghosts. Like, the cover is, like, a bunch of people, they look like ghosts walking in their campers.
No, this one had like red eyes in the forest looking out of a tent or something.
Oh,
Mhm.
cool. You know I have all 62 of these books, right?
All of them?
Yep, I have every single one of them.
Wow. All at home right now?
Yeah. They're not all here. I have 1 through 5 here.
No, but at your house.
Yeah.
Your
in
old
Nebraska.
house, not your real house. This
Yep.
is your home.
This is my home.
Hey, this is your home.
I gotta get home.
But your old home.
Hey, after this podcast, I gotta drive home, so we gotta hurry this up. The director of this movie did another it's scary, it's thrilling, but there's not a ton of deaths in that one either.
Mm-hmm.
But the director of this movie did another scary movie with hot people in it.
Mm-hmm. That was the clue, huh?
Yup.
Doesn't a lot of
It's
scary movies
about
have hot people?
I'm gonna give you a huge hint. You're gonna get it right away. You've never seen this movie, but you know this reference. Candy cane, where are you, candy cane?
I would never have gotten it based off of the hot people comment, but that was a fantastic quote. Is it called Joyride?
Yep, that's
what it's
right.
called. Yep, never
Paul
seen
Walker, you want to call hot?
I would, but again, I can't think of there are so many hot people in scary movies. It's like every hot person ever. That's like a mark of how hot you are.
Is if
you have been asked to be in a scary movie.
Well, not in all scary movies. I've seen some real trashy ones that do not have hot people in it.
Well, I'm talking about the OG, like the classics. Like we've got Nev Campbell, we've got
Yep.
J Love, we've got Sarah Michelle.
Yep.
I mean, these are Freddie Prinze, all these guys.
Kevin Bacon.
Hottest of the hot.
Johnny Depp.
See?
Yeah.
See?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I know. I'm telling you. That's how you know.
But not everybody's hot though.
No,
Go
not
look at
everybody, that's true.
go look at the main chicks in the old Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and even Jamie Lee Curtis, who's not grown into her body yet. She's like a little awkward fawn.
Oh,
in that movie.
In the OG one?
Yeah, she's like a little stick in Halloween. Oh, Halloween, so good. So yeah, the director directed Joyride.
Okay.
And speaking of hot people,
Yes.
the team literally said, the production team, when they were going to go into casting, they said, we want people who are beautiful but likable for our leads.
Oh.
How did they do?
I would say they got 3 out of 4 right.
Yep. Okay. Let's break them down one by one.
Okay.
And then you can get into it a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about the main chick in the casting for the main gal.
Yes.
Started off with they offered the role to Melissa Joan Hart.
Oh.
From Sabrina.
Okay.
Yep. And she said, I don't want to do this. This looks like a knockoff of Scream. Which I'm like, what are you doing instead that you're like, no, I have to do this? You didn't do anything. What the heck are you talking about?
Interesting.
I was never a big Melissa Joan Hart fan, though. I always thought her TV shows were kind of annoying.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel
Go ahead.
so hurt by what you said.
No, go ahead. Explain. Why do you feel so hurt?
I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
TGI Friday, come on. All day.
I love Boy Meets World.
All day except just on
Step
Fridays.
Step by Step.
And
awesome. Not Sabrina.
Sabrina the
No.
Teenage Witch. Clarissa Explains It All.
I didn't like Clarissa Explains It All. I thought she was
What?
kind of annoying.
Oh my gosh, she
Yeah.
was so inspirational and so philosophical. It really go back and watch an
Maybe I
episode
like it now, but at the time I didn't like it.
It was just like talking to the camera and just let's just have it out. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about annoying little brothers. Let's talk about our best friend who climbs into our window all the time. It was something for me.
You're a big fan.
I was a big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, movies came out and she kind of fizzled out. But during that time, she was a very special person in my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Very special person in your life.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm going to stand
Strong
by that.
attachment.
I'm going to stand by that.
Well, after that, they went with another famous actress at the time. Do you have any guesses that you wanted to throw out or not? Should I just give
Can
it to
you tell me their hair color? Another blondie?
Blonde, yeah.
Did they offer that role to Sarah Michelle?
Which role? The main role?
The role of
We'll get into that in a
Jennifer Love
second.
Hewitt's role.
We'll
I
get
don't
into that
know.
in
I
2
can't remember what
seconds.
anyone's real names are in the
I
movie.
have them written down. If I accidentally say JLH or SMG, that's how I have them in the format the entire time.
I'm just going to have to call them that because their fictional names mean nothing to anybody.
Yeah, I would not say anybody's real names.
Janie,
Or
maybe,
fictional
or
names,
Jenny, James. I don't remember
No.
what her name is.
Yeah.
It's an alliteration. I remember that.
I think you might be right. It might be Jenny James.
Joni Jones. Jenny James.
Yeah, it'll be on here somewhere.
At any rate.
Anybody that you would have put in that role from this time period?
I can't think of anybody but her in this role. I just can't. She is too perfect in this role.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the best things she's done. I would say this. I loved her in Can't Hardly Wait.
I was just going to say, if you don't say Can't Hardly Wait, you're crazy.
But after that, I don't know what I would say as far as movies go.
You know what's crazy? She didn't do a lot of movies. I was looking through her filmography. She really wasn't in a ton. She did a lot of TV, and she did a lot of like random movies that you've never heard of. But like as far as like grade A movies that were going to be at the box office, she didn't do a ton.
Which is kind of crazy because of how popular she was.
She was so popular.
So popular.
And she was so hot.
And maybe that's why.
Oh, by the way, I know we talk a lot about hotness here. I'm sorry if it offends anybody, but we're going to talk about how hot these four are a lot in this podcast. They're all so attractive.
Yeah, we're just going to get into that. So don't worry. If you feel uncomfortable by that, this is not your episode.
So they actually offered the role after Melissa Joan Hart to Reese Witherspoon.
Whoa.
A young Reese Witherspoon. She had done Election.
Baby Reese.
And barely anything else. I think she had maybe done that. Was she in Cape Fear? I can't remember. She had done like another like thrilling movie, but then she had not done Cruel Intentions yet. Wow. So that's where she is in her career.
Can you imagine? Because if that would have happened, then Cruel Intentions would never have happened. They wouldn't have picked those three.
Yeah, they had three. They had three
would never
in the
pick
cast.
The three to do Cruel Intentions.
You're right
and you'd be like,
on.
no, people are going to think this is the sequel.
Yep.
You can't do that. So I think that was for the best.
So here's what Reese said. Reese said, hey, I can't do this project. I don't remember why she couldn't. But she's like, hey, I'm turning down this project, but you should give a hard look at my boyfriend right now, Ryan Phillippe.
Oh.
So she helped set him up later on down the road.
Yeah, she did.
But so then the role, the main girl, goes to Jennifer Love Hewitt after this.
Nice.
Jennifer Love Hewitt at the time, she had been in the TV show.
Party of Five?
Yep, nailed it.
Never saw it.
Never saw it either.
I'm sorry, I know that's blasphemous.
And then she was in the horrible movie, which your husband revisited during quarantine, called Trojan War.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. Do you remember what Trojan War is about?
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's Eric off of Boy Meets World, the brother, the dumb brother, and he's trying to get a condom so he could hook up with this hot chick. And the whole time, all his exploits to get a condom keep getting foiled. And he just wants to get over there to bang-a-rang with his gal. And then Jennifer Love Hewitt's his best friend, and she's like had feelings for him the whole time. And I'm like, why would you? The girl he's running after is just whatever. And Jennifer Love Hewitt's so hot in this. She does her like quirky thing.
Beautiful.
She's got a silly little hat on and everything, showing off her midriff. She's like, yeah, I'm just super hot over here, and you're just ignoring me.
I couldn't tell you got the stupid hat on. Oh, wow, you took the hat off. You're so hot.
So she had been in that movie. And then Can't Hardly Wait is 98, and this movie comes out in 97. So Can't Hardly Wait is next.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. What a period of time for her.
Yeah, what a time to be alive.
Flying high.
It's really interesting what you said about Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
What about them?
About their roles.
Yeah.
You were like, well, did they offer to Sarah Michelle Gellar first? They actually did.
Did they?
They were initially going to cast SMG as the main gal and JLH as Sarah Michelle Gellar's role.
Oh, interesting.
So they're going to flip them. But then Jennifer Love Hewitt read the script and she said to the production team, she was like, my mom will cry if I die on screen. I don't know if I can take it. And they were like, well, what if we switched? And they were like, okay, that sounds good. And everybody was like, just cool with it. Sarah Michelle Gellar was even cool with it.
Whoa, what a crazy power play that was.
Yeah, I know.
She's lucky that worked out. Hey, my mom's going to cry. I think I need to be the lead in this.
Yeah, maybe? I think so. I think I need to survive and possibly be in a sequel or two. Yeah, but Sarah Michelle Gellar at the time, she was on season 2 of Buffy. So, like, she was early Buffy.
Yeah.
And she really hadn't done anything else. And so she's very early in her career as well. And they kind of liked the idea of her because she looks so sweet and cutesy and stuff.
Who looks so sweet and cutesy?
Sarah Michelle Gellar. And and that she can play like this asshole character.
She can play Smolder.
That's what they liked about her.
Oh, for sure. Not that J-Love can't play Smolder, because she can. Obviously, we've seen that as she's gotten older and done other movies. But I think at this time period especially, they played to their strengths, I think. I see Jennifer Love as that more like wholesome piece, that kind of valedictorian or whatever character, and it made perfect sense that Sarah Michelle Gellar was trying to be an actress in New York and was like the queen of the parade at 4th of July.
Sure.
And, it made more sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not that they can't stretch themselves, not that they need to be stereotyped, but that's what I see them as.
Did you know that JLH and SMG were in another project together that was Disney related?
I did not.
They were in the Hercules TV show. Jennifer Love Hewitt played Medusa, and SMG played Andromeda.
Really?
In the animated series. Yeah, they're just voices.
Oh, I was like, how old were they?
Yeah,
were they
pretty
like
cool, huh? Pretty cool.
17 years old? Like...
Together again. There's so many team-ups after this movie with some of these people, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get...
marriages, hookups, team-ups, I'm sure.
It was crazy.
The gambit.
What's our other really big team-up that we get? Out of this casting.
For life?
No, not for life yet.
Oh, okay. Our other big team up is we go to Cruel Intentions after this. Is that what you're
We get Cruel Intentions
yeah,
after this. Yeah.
So we get Ryan Phillippe and Phillippe.
Ryan Phillippe. Phillippe.
I think it's Phillippe.
I
Yep,
think
that
it's
sounds
Phillippe,
right.
yeah.
Yep. Sorry, everyone.
How do you go about pronouncing it? Ryan, that you already knew. And no, it is not Philippe. Neither is it Philippe, but rather Philippe. Ryan Philippe.
And yeah, Sarah Michelle. And
With dark hair.
with dark hair.
Which, guys, I promise we're going to do that movie for a rewatch. I can't wait. There's so many things to talk about. I'm positive of it. And it's got so many cringy things. I was telling Rach, it's crazy how a movie can make you think this person's so evil, and then by the end, you're rooting for that person. I just can't believe
You're
it.
referring to Ryan in that.
Yeah, like Sebastian.
Or Sebastian,
Yep.
the character. Yeah.
Sebastian. Yep. So, anyways, we get that Cruel Intentions team up. But we have Freddie Prinze Jr., which I didn't realize you have to spell with a Z, not a C. Just so you know, when you're writing his name, doodling it in your notebooks.
In Prince, it's a Z?
It's a Z.
I would like to say that I knew that, and I probably at one time knew that, but I had forgotten that
Was
about
Freddie
him.
Prinze on your wall?
Yeah.
He was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's very attractive, so
Oh,
that makes a ton of sense.
he's totally my type.
Yeah?
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Oh,
so cute.
yeah.
Oh, my gosh. She's all that. I melt.
Yeah, he doesn't grow good facial hair, though. Something you need to consider.
I do like the scruff.
He had done a ton of TV, but not really anything else up to this moment. He got really close a couple times, before, almost getting a breakout role, but this was going to be his big breakout. And his big problem was when he was auditioning, he had to audition, I think, 5 times for this role. And the producers kept saying, him and actually Felipe, too. Phillippe.
Philippe.
They were like, these guys are too scrawny. Like, we need people who are buffer. Number one, Ryan's character is supposed to be a football player. And he's got like you called them 8-year-old abs at one point. Or something. Yeah, he's got those middle school abs.
He didn't have anything to do with it. He's just like little skin and bones. But he looks like he's got a 6-pack, and he does. But you know it's not because of anything that he put too much work into.
Abs are made in the kitchen, baby.
All right, well.
Or what does your gal say in that workout you were doing?
Oh, crap. Yeah, something.
We create the abs, and then in the kitchen they reveal themselves.
There it is.
Like that.
That's the one. In the kitchen they reveal themselves. Well, and are we really supposed to believe that Freddie Prinze Jr. has been a fisherman this whole year?
Yeah, he's so skinny and scrawny.
His hands have never known a days of hard work in his life. He had you can just tell he's got like wonderful soft hands. He doesn't have a callus on his body.
I don't even believe it in the Summer Catch baseball movie that he really mows the lawn. Like, you don't mow the lawn, you liar.
Your hair is way too gelled and perfectly up. There's no way it would stay that way.
There's no way. So Freddie Prinze, he hit the gym, and I think he put on a pound of muscle.
Did he?
So that was cool. And he got a new haircut.
Oh.
And that helped score him the role. It actually worked. He had a big rival at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yep. His big rival was in the movie Clueless. Do you have any guesses on which character it would have been?
As a rival?
His big rival. He thought he was going to be in Clueless, and he got cast over by this person, and he talks about him in interviews as his rival, who he says was way better than he was as an actor, but that was his rival.
It's not Paul Rudd, is it?
It's not Paul Rudd.
Oh, good. I can't think of him being anybody's rival.
You won't know this guy's name, but
is he
what
the character of Elliot in that?
Elliot is...
Do you know who this guy is?
Oh, gosh. Which character is Elliot?
Elliot is the one. He's like Mr. Elton.
No, nope. It's not
Okay.
that guy.
What other guys
It's like
are
her
there?
first love interest who's really tall. He's got dark hair. He's got kind of like a little bit of a mop top. He's a tall, skinny guy. His name is Jeremy Sisto. If I showed you a picture, you'd know him right away.
Are we not talking about the same guy?
No, we're not talking about Elton. Elton's short.
No, you're thinking of Christian. Christian's the gay guy.
Oh, I was
Elton
thinking
is
of
the
Christian.
friend who falls in love with Cher.
Yes.
In it, but she's trying to hook
Well-
him up with Harriet.
Yep.
Or I can't think of what. I'm mixing Emma and this up with the names, but
Is this guy tall, dark, and skinny?
yeah, he's got the hair and everything, and then she tries to hook him up with
That's
it, and
the
then
guy.
he's like, "No, I'm in love with you." He's that character.
That's the guy.
I thought we were talking about the same one.
Yep,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not the one
No, I
that
thought
she
you were-
likes
yep.
later that she's getting ready for the date, and she's like, "Daddy." Josh.
Daddy!
What?
I can't just open it. I have to make him wait a while.
Then you can wait outside.
Josh, please! Come on, Josh! Come on.
No, not the one who's closeted gay.
Yep.
Not him.
So that's it. That was his big rival at the time. He
Interesting.
did, yeah, I mean, I think they were probably fine with each other, but
Ugh.
he thought for sure he was going to get this role.
FPJ is so much hotter.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, not even a question. I don't know acting wise what you'd say about them both. I think they're both just okay, but yeah,
Yeah.
big rivals. He had also auditioned for Scream, and he got super close to getting Nev Campbell's boyfriend.
Ooh.
Yep, super close, but he lost it.
Dang it.
Yep.
That would have been quite the turn, because he doesn't really seem like that character. Like,
Yeah, because that guy
that
has a
boyfriend
Johnny
turned-
Depp-ism.
He does.
Depp-ism
yes,
with him.
yes, that's the technical term for it.
Yeah,
A
Johnny Depp-ism.
Yeah, a little
Deppishness.
Riley. Like, can I trust you? I
Yeah,
don't know. You're very
slightly
attractive.
uncouth.
Yeah, a little on edge.
Yeah. But the writer, Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Williamson, was in that casting. And he was like, I really like this guy.
Yeah.
And he even told him afterwards, he's like, I'm going to get you in something. He goes, I have another project coming up that I think I'm going to be able to get you in.
Oh, yeah.
So he kind of like set him up. And he
Nice.
was the one who kept fighting for him to keep getting called in with those 5 auditions.
I'm so
Everybody's
glad.
like, he's just so skinny. He doesn't work on the boat. You
He's
kidding
too
me?
tall. Look at him. He looks like a goof.
Now, Ryan Phillippe,
Mm-hmm.
he was in TV movies, and that's about it.
Philippi?
Phillippe.
Felipe,
His role was supposed to be a really, like in the character description,
Mm-hmm.
it says a 6'2" football player, brawny. Those are the character descriptions. And that is not Ryan
No.
at all.
No.
You know how tall he is?
He's not that tall. I gotta think that he's like 5'9".
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
He's 5'9".
5'9".
How tall do you think Freddie is?
6'2".
Nope, close. He's 6 foot, 6'1".
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
And then how tall
Well,
do you...
did you count his spiky hair though?
No, I think that is counted in.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Everybody, if you're spiking your hair, you're counting that in your height for sure. Yep, guaranteed.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Trick of the trade.
Yep. Now, how tall do you think the girls were?
Oh.
They stand right next to each other a couple times.
Yeah, I think Sarah Michelle's pretty short. I think
Okay.
she and I are almost the same height. I want to say she's 5'3".
She's 5'4". She's taller than you.
Just a pinch, like half an inch.
She's
Probably
taller than
she
you.
probably counts her hair in it.
Yeah.
Which is coiffed. And then I think Jennifer Love is 5'6", 5'7".
Jennifer Love Hewitt is shorter than SMG.
She is?
I am shocked, and I didn't believe it because when you think about them both in space,
Yeah.
I think Jennifer Love Hewitt is like 5'7".
I always... Yes.
And
yeah, I always
Sarah
think
Michelle
of her as a little
Gellar
bit
is probably like,
taller.
yeah, right around your height.
What?
And really, Sarah Michelle is 5'4". Jennifer Love Hewitt, 5'2".
5'2"?
That's what I got. 5'2".
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I
This is
didn't.
crazy.
I didn't believe it until I saw a scene where she like puts her arm around Sarah and they're like walking together, and I was like, oh my god, you are like an inch shorter.
Weird. I thought of both of them as, I mean, I knew SJP was a little bit short, but I didn't know that they were, wait.
The
am I saying-
JLH
I'm getting the wrong acronyms here. I'm calling her SJP, which is Sarah Jessica Parker. I just have to go names. Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, I would not have thought that.
Yeah.
I thought they were just,
She's super
beautiful
short.
5'6", 5'7" women,
Yep.
just living their best lives. Well, that's cool. They must wear high heels a lot in film.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Because that's short. 5'2"
That's super
on
short.
film, that's short,
Yeah.
right?
But if you're playing opposite of Ryan, like he's short too.
Yeah, he is short.
That it really wouldn't
and
make
maybe that
you
was
look.
a part of it.
It really wouldn't make your couple look that weird.
Yeah, but if like Freddie's 6
But
foot,
there
that looks crazy.
there are moments where Freddie and her are right next to each other, and I noticed it. I was like, wow, there's a big height difference.
I think I just thought that he was extra tall then.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
why
think
you
she was
guessed, like,
extra
6'3"
short.
then.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Those were my 3 inches. I put them on him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Pretty crazy.
Whoa. Hard-hitting facts today, guys. Oh, I'm so glad you tuned in.
But so after people saw this movie, this gets in a little bit of aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
But so after this, Ryan goes and does Cruel Intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically because of this movie.
Oh, I'm
People
sure.
saw this movie and they like pretty much devised the piece around him. They're like, hey, we're going with this Ryan.
Wait, they devised the
Phillippe
piece.
guy.
They went back in time and looked at Dangerous Liaisons.
No,
and was
I mean, they were like,
"Let's-"
hey, we got this concept for this updated Dangerous
Aha.
Liaisons.
Got it.
We're going to build it around this Ryan guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
The more I think about it, the more I think it is Philippe.
Philippe.
it's
Ryan Phillippe? Philippe.
you guys. We don't know. We're the worst at this. We're the absolute worst at this.
Corleone? What was the other one?
Corleone.
Corleone?
But he is fantastic in that. We'll get to that
In Cruel Intentions?
another day, another time. And so is Sarah Michelle. Like they're just
Yeah.
wickedly good.
I'll let you put it anywhere.
No, we don't. We don't need to quote that.
Yeah, we do. And then we can't forget who played Sarah Michelle Gellar's big sister. What other Summers Off movie was she in, Rach?
What's her name? Molly Potter?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even write her name
You
down.
didn't even write her name
No,
down?
I just wrote down the other things
I
she was
think
in.
Potter's her last name. No, I'm thinking of somebody different.
She's in Billy Madison.
Yes. Oh,
As the
and
love
she was
interest.
in Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
She's what's her butt?
Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade. What is her name?
Nobody knows.
Okay.
Yep. But
We
we
did
like
at
her.
one point.
She's
Brooke?
cool. Yeah, that's right.
Brooke something. I don't know.
Yep.
Bridget Wilson.
Brooke Simmons. So, how long do you think it took them to film this bad boy?
It was a beautiful summer, and the story takes place over years. It's like 3 years. So
Yeah,
probably
that's the
3
time.
years is what I would say.
It
I
took
think
them 3 years.
I think they
36 months to film
they
this bad
did
boy.
it
Or wait.
true
Yeah,
to
that's right.
form. They waited a year until it was the 4th of July again. Everyone looks 1 year older, and they did it again for
Uh-huh.
like the ending scene for 1 year older.
It's kind of
so
like that.
3 years
What was
probably.
what was that movie called? It's not about a boy. That's a different movie. But there's a movie with Ethan Hawke where they film it over like the course of like 7 years.
Yeah,
You know
a
what I'm talking
boy's life. Or,
Yeah.
and that's
That's not
right.
it.
Maybe it is. Isn't
You
it
know what
about
I'm-
a boy? Yeah, it's
you
the
know what
one
I'm
where
talking
it's
about, though.
it's shot in.
It's a
in real
terrible
life.
movie.
I don't know what terrible.
The main actor is awful. It's what you do. What happens when you cast something 7 years before it's done, and then
How
you're
would-
like, "Oh, this
How
person's
would you
terrible."
know? How would you know? And at that point,
I
you
don't
don't have
know.
a choice because
I-
that's your concept.
Yeah, you're stuck.
So
Yep.
it was an interesting feat in filmmaking.
Yeah, but it didn't work. They filmed this bad boy
Harsh.
in 10 weeks.
Whoa!
Yep.
I know what you did 10 weeks ago.
And the production only lasted 6 months, so then they could get done in time for Halloween.
Oh,
So
nice.
this could have a Halloween release.
Very good. I was gonna say that. I forgot what I was gonna say. Very good.
Okay, let me tell you this story, and you tell me if any fishy business was going on.
Okay.
We know that Ryan was with Reese, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep. Freddie and Sarah are not together.
No, not yet.
And so before shooting begins,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan goes, "Hey, Sarah, you want to go for a ride?" And Sarah's like, "Yeah, I'd love to go for a ride in your car."
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Okay, hop on in." And then they went for a ride. They're like, "Yeah, let's go check out the beach."
Mm-hmm.
They ride down to the beach. He rides his car onto the beach, and then it gets stuck, and they have to tow it out.
Okay.
Okay. Seemingly like, that's a funny story. Oh my God, I can't believe that happened. What do you think was really going on?
I don't know. That's
Don't you feel a little weird about
it's
it?
right on the edge of I wonder.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder because it could be harmless, right?
Could be.
Could be.
Could be. But if you're Ryan and you're taking a hot babe Sarah Michelle Gellar out in your car on the beach, this feels a little peculiar.
Well, I will say is the beach is a bit more of a public place, though, right? Versus like it didn't get stuck in the woods somewhere or like up on,
Yeah, you're going to drive
Peaks
your car
Point.
right down to the beach, though, and probably make out. What else would you do down by the beach in your car?
Yeah, I don't know.
You would make out.
I guess.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't. Yeah, because you would, if you had no funny business, you would probably park it and walk.
I like to think that
Right?
right when Freddie and her got together, he was like, "Hey, what happened on that beach that night?
I
need to know if we're gonna make this something. I need to know what happened on that beach."
Oh, poor Reese.
During filming, our two lovebirds, SMG and Freddie,
Mm-hmm.
they meet each other.
Mm-hmm.
They will not get together though for 2 more years.
Oh, what do they do in 2 years?
I
What
don't-
brings them back together?
I don't know.
Because Scooby-Doo was later, wasn't it?
Scooby-Doo was, I
What
think after
is
2000.
it that did it, Ty?
I don't know, but they do not get together right away. But
Teen
then
Choice Awards.
their
2
beautiful
years
love
later.
ship happens after that. But there are a couple who you would assume maybe wouldn't last,
Magic.
right?
I don't know. It's magic, babe.
Well,
When you got it, you got it.
they do say in the movie, they give us some statistic about high school sweethearts. Do you remember the statistic?
Oh, not the statistics, but that, yeah.
I think
Freddie
it's
Prinze-
60%, he says.
Yeah.
It's like a crazy statistic I don't believe.
Yeah. Did he throw a number on
I
it?
think he did. I think he
Oh.
says 60% of high school sweethearts stay together or something like that. Or maybe it's not even him. Maybe it's Sarah Michelle Gellar says
Well,
that.
that's definitely not true.
No,
so I don't
can't
know
be.
where he pulled that from.
I can think of one in my life that stayed
Is that
together.
a 1%?
Yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
But they get married 5 years after this. So they're together for 3
Oh.
years, 2 years
Mm-hmm.
from now, and then they get married. They're a cute couple.
Yeah, they're a very attractive couple.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that they were kind of at their peaks at the same time.
Yeah.
So you kind of don't have. I know they both kind of do working in different ways. And maybe, I don't know if we'll talk about that later, but she stayed a little bit more active in like the film and TV world. And then he did kind of more maybe producing or writing, I
He
want to
did.
say.
He wanted to really get into the writing game. He actually
Mm-hmm.
wrote for WWE for a while.
That's right.
He
I thought
loves
we might
Jeff
talk
Hardy.
about that.
He loves Jeff Hardy, the wrestler. He's like his biggest fan.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Now, Freddie Prinze says that he was the only one who was 21. He's not correct.
Oh,
But he
okay.
said he was the only one who was 21 and that the other castmates would always make him go and buy beer because they were too young.
Fun.
Now, if they were too young, what does that make all their ages, Rach? Freddie Prinze is 21.
Difference 21. Sarah Michelle is 19.
Correct.
Jennifer Love is 19.
17.
What? So little. This is a baby. And then Ryan is 20.
He's 22, actually. So that's why I don't know
oh
what
yeah,
he was
that's right. You
talking
told me
about.
that. You told me
Yeah,
he was
because then when I
right.
looked it up, I was like, Ryan Phillippe is older than you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that doesn't
But-
make any sense. Why was he just cheap and wanted him to go buy the beer?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
Or
really what it
lazy?
comes down to.
You go buy it.
Now, Jennifer Love Hewitt, when they were filming this, she
Mm-hmm.
got really freaked out, and it started to affect her sleep.
Ooh.
Can you put yourself in those shoes? Like, do you think that you would get really freaked out filming this movie?
Oh, she got freaked out because of the movie and because the
Yeah,
movie
because
was
filming
scary
it,
and-
yeah, yep,
Mhm.
doing all the scary scenes and stuff.
This one, I don't think I would. I think I'd be okay
Yeah.
because this one doesn't have a ton of things that are even scary that she's in, to be honest. Like
Mhm.
there's her big scene on the boat at the end, but otherwise it's not like she's doing a ton of like walking through the house in the dark
Yep.
and avoiding near misses
Uh-huh.
of being killed, you know? So
Yeah, she doesn't really have that.
no, not a ton. She kind of just does more like detective work,
Yeah.
and even then it's I don't know.
I was surprised.
But she's also 17.
Yeah, she's also 17.
She's scared.
And they did like a method thing where they kept the fisherman and her away from each other.
Oh.
And so they like could keep the scariness going or the tension, which I get it sometimes and I don't other times. Sometimes I think it's
Yeah.
just stupid. And this is a movie that I would say like you didn't need to keep you guys apart. Like who cares?
I mean, you say that though, but she has, I think, one of the best screams in the business.
So interesting you say that.
Yes.
She studied under the Scream Queen of all Scream Queens. You know what Scream Queens are, right?
Like Neve Campbell?
Yeah, like scary movie protagonist.
Sure.
She had one that would drop by on set and would give her pep talks and coach her throughout the whole thing.
Oh, that's
Do you have a
cool.
guess on who it is?
It is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Absolutely.
Yes!
Jamie Lee Curtis came to North Carolina.
What?
And
when they were there?
Hung out on set with her to talk to her about like being a Scream Queen.
Uh-huh. And gave her coaches on that. That's that, because her scream is like legit. Like when I hear it, it makes me go like, oh, yeah, what are we afraid of? Like,
Yep.
It's like, that's a
She
legit
does. She
scream.
has a great scream.
That's the best in the biz, I would say.
She got a ton of cuts and bruises on her, like during filming, because of how much she has to fall in the movie.
Oh.
Like, she does a lot of falling. Which, I'll be honest,
That's such a trope.
that's a pet peeve of mine in scary movies. In Halloween, the new Halloween movie, they fall all the time, and it annoys the piss out of me. I'm like, what are you falling for? There's nothing that should have tripped you. If you are scared and you're running, you're not going to fall.
Yeah, you say that, but you never know. Until you're being chased by a madman, you never know just how many times you're going to trip yourself. I don't know.
I don't know. I just have my doubts.
Become very uncoordinated all
Apparently.
of a sudden.
There's one moment in this movie that I think is my favorite movie of the movie for sure. And one of my favorite movies.
My favorite movie of the movie?
One of my favorite moments of the movie.
Yeah.
It is my favorite moment of the movie.
Okay.
But it's one of my favorite moments in any scary movie.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a guess?
I am going to guess that this is also what I would call maybe the best death in the film.
Okay.
Am I on the right track?
Maybe.
Must not be. What I was gonna say.
Yeah. What was
Segue
it?
to
Best
me
death.
and what I was gonna say. I was gonna talk about Sarah Michelle Gellar's death.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when she is trying to escape the fisherman guy, and she jumped out of a window, so she's in a back alley, and she's trying to get to Main Street because there's a big parade happening on Main Street. There's fireworks going on, the big marching band's walking by. She's kind of like limping, and she's trying to get there, and she goes through this final alleyway, and it's all tires, and lo and behold, the guy pops out, and he pulls her back, and then he essentially kills her feet away from all the parade goers and everything, because all this, the band is loud, the fireworks are loud, so no one can hear her scream.
That moment is so, speaking of Scream, Scream-esque. Like the movie Scream.
Yeah?
That felt so Scream to me.
Yeah?
Like somebody dying in like a barn or something, like on the top level, and there's people down partying and stuff. I can't remember if that happens in the first or second one.
Okay.
But like that kind of stuff, it felt so Scream to me.
Give me the goosebumps.
The one thing that I thought was a missed opportunity is there could have been more blood there. Like you just see her like going to the tires, and like then you see his like hook going up and down over and over again. But I do love that movie when they pan out and you see the parade just marching by. That's so cool.
What were you gonna say? What was your favorite moment in the movie?
It's a quote.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know what it is.
Go ahead.
Wait, I'm gonna misquote it, so I want you to quote it, but I know what quote you're talking about.
Okay.
It's SJ Sarah Michelle Gellar. No.
What are you waiting for? We're right here. Come and get us. What are you waiting for?
Don't you see? He's got us now. Okay, this is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police. Not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there and he's watching us and waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
I love that moment. I really do. I know it's cheese. I freaking love it.
I know you do, because I've heard you say it many times prior to watching this.
Yep.
And I misspoke. That's Jennifer Love who says that. Everything is just like, she's had it. She's had it.
She's like,
Midday,
come and get us.
like, come on, where are you at?
Yep.
Love it.
Now that quote, which is a fan favorite. People dig that quote.
Oh, yeah.
It was created by a horror movie fan who had won a competition. I think it was a radio competition. And he got to go on set and watch the I Know What You Did Last Summer get filmed. And he had this idea. He's like, hey, this would be really cool. And Jennifer Love Hewitt heard it, and she's like, this is a stupid idea.
What?
She's like, I hate this idea. She's like, I'll do it, but it's dumb. And so she did it. And the director was like, it's awesome. And now she's like, yeah, it's all right. I still think it wasn't super great, but yeah, it's fine.
Well,
like, I think it's so cool.
I'm glad you did, because it's iconic.
So speaking of the gore, the lack of gore, like where would you put this 1 to 10 on the gore scale?
I would say. I'm trying to think of something like really gory that I recently saw, or that people would know to like put at a 10. Like, what's a 10 on the gore scale? Would we say?
A 10 on the gore scale?
Mm-hmm. Or close to 10, like a 9 or 10 on the gore scale.
Yeah.
That Fear Street thing that
Fear
you
Street's
just
pretty
watched.
gory. Fear Street is pretty gory.
When you the stabbing piece, when you see that happen, that's pretty repeatedly. I was like, whoa, don't like that.
Yep.
So if that's there, I would say this is probably a 3, 4 on the gore scale.
I think it's a 3.
Yeah.
Maybe even a 2. It's pretty low. Like, you see some blood come out of people's mouths and
I
stuff.
would say
3.
I would say
Three's
the
fair.
goriest parts are probably not the bloodiest parts. They're like the dead body parts.
Yeah.
It's like when you get the dead body in the trunk, or later when they're all in the ice and she comes upon them. Those are they're jumpy, and then also like, ooh, that's kind of gory.
Yep.
So I would say that for me bumps it up to like a 4.
Let's go through kills, and you rank them 1 to 10 on the gore scale.
Okay.
All right. So there's the first guy who gets killed in the ice box, who then is in the car with the crabs.
Yes, the guy from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah, from Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
He's
Leonard.
kind of a dick in it.
Leonard. Yeah, he's kind of a jerk.
He like tries to play like a cool guy who's kind of a coward, though.
Yeah, it's kind
That's like his character.
of odd guy.
What can I do for you, Max? You can wipe that my shit don't stink grin off your face.
I feel like I knew that character, though, pretty well.
Yeah, I do, too.
You
I
know?
feel like that's the guy who like
Didn't take no for an answer. Wanted to like be
who
a
has
friend, and you're
feelings
like,
for you, and you're like,
but
get
it's
outta
kind of
here.
weird. Like, I think I want to hang out with you.
Yep. There's a fine line sometimes between being that guy and being Preston. I can't hardly wait. Like there's the cute friend who you're like, oh yeah, he's really cute, and I just never saw him in that way, but he is really cute, and I think I have feelings for him. Or there's this guy's kind of creepy, and like if in the wrong situation
pushy.
would try to take advantage of me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That one on the gore scale, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the hook goes through the mouth. That's kind of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's probably higher than some of them.
Yep.
I would say that's probably, I don't know, the 6.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now what about is it Ryan's death next? I think
Sure.
so. Yep, Ryan.
I don't see much of his, right? Because it's on the balcony and you've got backlighting because it's happening at the show.
Which is cool how they set it up.
I did like the setup for it.
So picture this, guys. We're back at the beauty pageant. Sarah
Beauty
Michelle
pageant. A
Gellar
year
sitting
later.
there. She's got to give up her crown. She's looking at watching the acts, which are terrible. And just like you can just tell, she's like, man, these guys all suck compared to me. And then the lights are shining up on coming from the balcony where Ryan is, and she can kind of like just make out the form of him behind her. So what would you give that 1 to 10?
Gory wise, I would say that's probably closer to a 3.
Yeah, to me that's a 1 out of 10 because you just see blood on the banister. You don't even see really the death.
Yeah, I think you see it a little bit, but not much. It's just a little bit spooky though.
Now what about Sonia Blade's death? Sarah Michelle's sister.
Sonia Blade. Ooh,
Billy Madison gal.
that one. I don't even know if the death itself is like gory, but the fact that like he's walking with her on his hook at one point, that's a bit gory,
Yeah.
I would say.
He has her by like the ribs at one point, carries her around, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would also put that as a 6. That's
Yeah.
a bit, the aftermath is a bit like,
That one's
ew,
high.
I was not ready for that visual.
Yep.
Little.
For the SMG kill, which you said you like the death, where would you put it on the gore scale though?
Well, it's my favorite death,
Yep.
but also not very gory at all.
Yep.
Really. Like you think you just like see swipes in the dark, but you don't see anything, which also makes it really easy for makeup. No special effects. I think that one would be like a 2.
Yeah. And then the cop dies. Is he the last one? Or
Yeah.
he died before that, actually.
I don't even remember how the cop gets.
I don't either.
I mean, it's all hook related probably, but
Yeah.
I can't think of it, so must not have been that scary.
In general, I think there is a lack of creativity with the hook kills.
I
thought
think you
the
just wanted to
first
see one
one's
go
awesome.
through somebody's eyeball, and you never got that.
Like I loved it when it went underneath the guy's chin, underneath Big Bang Theory guy's chin.
Sure.
That was a cool one. I loved it when he was like carrying Sonya Blade with by the ribs. That was really cool. I wanted 2 more. I think crazy hook kills. He's got the hook.
He's got
It's gotta be a
hook.
cool hook kill.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just saying. But the director, one of the reasons why we didn't see a lot of gore was the director was against gore. And you can see that in Joyride, too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the director doesn't have a lot of gore in that movie either. You're getting chased by a big semi.
Yeah.
And so...
That's true. How are you going to get?
Yep. And
Yeah.
so he wanted it way toned down. The production company, though, said, like, no, we need to have more gore. We need to have more thrills in this movie. So they actually went back and added originally, the guy from Big Bang Theory just got the hook, and that was it. They added the crab moment.
Ooh.
Can you describe the crab moment?
Oh,
for
that was the good
listeners?
one. I love that moment because back to our urban legend story about the scratching at the car or the whatever. So Jennifer Love is driving in the day. It's always scary when things happen in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And she hears this scratching noise. You think what is that? Am I dragging something?
Yep.
Is something behind me? What is
Because I think
that?
that's what happens in the story, right? They drive off and then they hear a rattling and they stop and then
that's
there's
why
a hook
it's-
on the car.
That's why it's cool. Because you think
Yeah.
oh my God, are we going to see a hook?
Yep.
And she stops the car and gets out and she opens up her trunk. And in the trunk, she finds the body of that guy from the beginning, her guy friend, and it's covered in crabs.
Yep.
Oh, they're eating him. It's so gross.
It was also cool because when they hit the fisherman and they throw him in the water, they say yeah, he'll be eaten by crabs.
Yeah.
And so nobody will recognize him. And I was like, oh, then this guy got eaten by
Yeah,
crabs. That's
yeah.
cool.
Full circle, baby.
Foreshadowing.
Cripsies.
Now, there was also a different ending to start with. The writers had a different ending, and the director hated it. And so he purposefully made a very boring ending. Listen to this ending.
Okay.
So she's at college, kind of like the ending that you see. She's at college. She's talking to her boyfriend, Freddie Prinze, on the phone, and she gets an email. And she pulls open the email, and the email says, "I still know, ... And that's it. And the director's like, that's so boring. Like, who cares? Like, this isn't a good ending at all. So he purposefully made it super bad and played into the boringness of it. So then when they showed test audiences, the test audiences would be like,
oh,
go back
lame.
to the ending. You got to fix this. This is awful. And so then they could do a spicier
And
ending.
then they did the shower one with the steam.
Yeah, what'd you think of that ending?
Well, I think you know what I thought of that ending because I screamed aloud.
Yep,
It's like,
you totally did. Was that
"Ah!"
your biggest jump?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, was it the very end?
I think so. I think I was not ready for that.
No, of course I love you more. Yes, I do. I love you, and you know that. But you know what? I've got to take a shower. I'm really late. A towel? Ray, don't you start with me. Look, you mister can ravage me in 2 weeks. Yes, I love you too. Okay, bye.
I was not ready for that. Nothing can compare you for that or prepare you for that. I thought you were going to talk about the different ending and how the whole time I thought that the killer was, I'm giving you audience time to pause if you don't know.
Yep.
I thought the killer was Freddie Prinze Jr. and they
Oh my
laid
gosh.
into it and I feel like such a fool.
It was so funny. I wrote down, let me see how far into the movie this is. This is 30 minutes in, 6:15 we started. No, this is 45 minutes in. 45 minutes in, I wrote, Rach thinks Freddie Prinze is the killer. And then I wrote, there's a moment where the fisherman is hiding in Sarah Michelle Gellar's closet and sees her undress and then chops off her hair for the next day. And we can get into her haircut in a second here. But I said that fisherman just saw Sarah Michelle Gellar naked. And Rach, what do you remember your response was?
Something like, oh, that's okay. He's married to her.
Yeah, it's okay. It's her future husband. I think that's what you said. So
Yeah.
you're still on board with it's Freddie Prinze for
It's
sure.
Freddie
But then
Prinze
they
for
think
sure.
it's Freddie Prinze, which plays into it too. But when they thought it was Freddie Prinze, did you know you were wrong then?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. When they were wise to it, I was like, okay, it can't be that.
Yep.
It can't be him now because we've already, it's too much. But yeah, I thought it would be fun too because it was like, all right, so he kind of does the hanky-panky with J-Love. He marries Sarah Michelle,
that's
and
right.
then he kills everybody. So
Yep.
it's like screw, marry, kill.
Yeah.
Freddie
Rach
Prinze Jr.
said
style.
F, marry, kill. It takes place in this movie by Freddie Prinze. That's so funny.
I was so wrong.
Yeah.
And honestly, it helped a lot of that be less scary for me at the very
Thinking
beginning.
it was Freddie?
Yeah. I just kept thinking like, oh, it's just Freddie under there. He's so cute. So like that whole scene at the beginning with Ryan when he's working out and stuff, and he gets notes and things like that. I was like, that's okay. It's just his best friend. So I was not scared then, but little did I know I should have been much more
Little
frightened.
did you know.
More to the story. I don't think that really even spoils it that much.
That it's not Freddie Prinze?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to get into spoilers about who it is in the second anyway.
Well, let this be your second opportunity
Yep,
to
second
turn it
warning.
around. Second warning.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about the sequel too, because you had some questions about that.
Oh, yeah.
This movie
Mm-hmm.
comes out October 17th,
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks before Halloween.
That's like tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
October
it is
17th?
tomorrow.
Is it?
This episode
Nope,
won't be
it was-
released until Halloween.
It was not tomorrow.
Is it today?
Nope. It was yesterday.
Oh, today's the 18th, huh?
Yep.
Wow, we're really getting nitty gritty.
Crazy.
But you guys won't hear this until like the 28th, so
Hey,
hey. This movie comes out October 17th, 1997.
Mhm.
Budget, do you have a guess on how much it cost?
$1 million.
No, it cost
on
more
the
than that.
nickel.
17 mil. How much do you think it made?
A lot more.
Yep, it did. It did. It made 72.5 mil, 120 mil total.
Whoa.
72.5 domestic. It made 15 million alone its opening weekend.
Yeah. Nice.
When it released, it was #1 at the box office for 3 weeks.
Ooh.
It beat out a movie that was being released at this same exact week called The Devil's Advocate.
Oh, who's in that?
Al Pacino,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Uh-huh.
He plays the devil's lawyer.
Yes.
Yep.
I've not seen it.
It's interesting.
I saw
it's
it,
not
but I don't
great,
think
but
I've
it's
seen it.
interesting.
Mhm.
And then it beat out a movie that had been out for a couple weeks called Kiss the Girls. Do you know that movie?
Kiss the Girls. Does that have Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman in it?
And Ashley Judd.
Okay.
I think it's like okay, I don't know for sure, but I think it's like she gets kidnapped and then she escapes and there's other girls who are kidnapped and then they have to like retrace her steps and like she has to go back.
Ooh.
And Morgan Freeman's like a detective and he's like,
I
I'll
thought it
go
was
with you.
some sort of a detective piece. That's
yeah,
interesting.
I think that's what the story is. It's been I
Oh.
think I've seen it, but it's been a long
Well, I'll
time.
be honest. If that's not a story, that should be a story. That's very good. That's very good writing, Ty.
Hey, nobody steal that. Nobody steal that. That's not the story. I wanted that to be my story. The fourth week, though, it lost. After Halloween was over, I think it was like November 7th.
Sure.
It lost to this past summer's off movie, Starship Troopers.
No.
Starship Troopers beat it out for #1. Rach, there were 12 taglines. I just took a few of them.
We not all 12?
Taglines. You want to hear all 12?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry. I only grabbed 6 of them.
I'll take it.
Okay. Actually, I grabbed 5 of them. One's really long. Here's the first one.
Okay.
He's got a hook on them.
I hope there's more hook jokes.
What started as a new beginning is becoming a dead end. The mistake they made is coming back to haunt them. If you're going to bury the truth, make sure it stays buried.
Ooh, yeah.
Someone knows their secret, someone knows they're scared, and someone knows what they did last summer. There probably was more hook ones I just deleted. I think I was like, I'll just do one hook one.
I really like the hook.
Yeah.
I think as for
He's
an
got a
audience member,
hook on them.
that lets me know that like,
Hook
oh,
stuff.
there's hook stuff in this one. Very cool. Like if it's not on the poster, it should be prominently displayed on the poster,
Sure,
right? The
yep.
fisherman shadow with a hook like needs to be on there.
Yep.
But maybe small because you want to see how hot everybody is too at the same time. So it's
Yeah, you
kind
can
of,
see
it's
like a
little
hook in the
tricky.
top corner,
Yeah.
but you see how hot they all are
Yeah,
in the main
yeah.
part of the
Then you can do
video
any
cover.
of them. I like the buried one. I like the stay buried because
Yeah.
they even say
If
something
you're going
like
to bury
that.
the truth, make sure it stays buried. Well, for one thing, they throw this guy over, or like he's about to get thrown off the dock. He reaches up and grabs Sarah Michelle Gellar's crown.
Yes.
Right there, they should be like, oh, shit, he's alive.
Yeah. And yet they still...
But they didn't.
They decide to try to murder him.
And then Ryan jumps in the water. He's wrestling the crown away from the guy.
So weird.
And then the guy opens his eyes and he like swims up to the front or to the dock again. And he's not like, dude, that guy's alive. We got to go get him. Like once again, they made the wrong choice.
Yeah. Several times.
And so
lots of wrong choices.
The first one is pretty egregious, but like you can be like, they're dumb kids, like they're scared. I get it. But the second two, I'll be honest, I'm like, you guys are awful. You deserve to die at this point.
Yeah, now it's trouble.
How none of you realize like, he reached up and grabbed that crown, he's alive, is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they realized he was alive, but then it was like oh no, now he's going to know that he got hit when we moved his body, and he's going to know we tried to kill him. And now we're going to have to tell people that we tried to cover up a murder.
Yeah.
Or not a murder, but an accident.
But you probably wouldn't be in that much trouble, though. Yeah, as much trouble as you would.
Tell that to the kids, but I don't know.
If they found a dead body that you had hidden because you had a hit and run, you'd be in a crazy amount of trouble.
Yeah.
If you went to the cops and you said, okay, we were at the docks, we were going to do it, but we didn't, and then he woke up, they would be like, that's bad, but you're not in as much trouble, right?
Well, you're in as much trouble as you were the first time.
No.
When you just hit him and you had manslaughter.
Yeah.
But that was because you're dead. But if
it's involuntary vehicular manslaughter.
But if nobody's dead, then can you even have manslaughter?
Okay, well, and here's my thing, too. They were all worried about their futures. Yeah. Let's go over what their futures are. Because Ryan just hangs out in his mansion. Well, he doesn't even go to school. He definitely didn't join the football team because he would have buffed up. Yeah. He looks exactly the same.
He does.
So he stays at home and he eats celery for lunch and dinner, and that's it.
Let's be honest. Ryan was going to do that no matter how that summer ended for him. He had no prospects of being able to, he's like, yeah, and then I'll start for the Steelers or the Cowboys. It's like, no,
you're gonna leave your JUCO early, and you're not gonna lift weights the whole year.
Yeah, and then just a rich kid.
You had Freddie Prinze, who went and worked on the fishing boat.
Yeah, tried college, but then couldn't cut it, and then started to go back to fishing. So also probably full circle for him.
Yep. Sarah Michelle goes to New York, acts for a tiny bit, and then it's like, this doesn't work, and so she goes and works for her asshole sister's shop.
Again, I don't think anyone's story really changes, other than the fact that Jennifer Love is having a terrible time at college
goes to college,
suffering from major depression.
She's not on the dean's list.
She's going to fail. She's going to fail
out of college. Yeah, that's true. I guess they do. They give her a academic probation kind of thing.
So hers is a huge 180.
And she looks sickly with those bangs.
When she comes back year one after she's been at college, she looks disgusting. She's got this greasy hair.
Yeah, she does have greasy hair.
Give her those dark circles under her eyes, and they kind of bulge out.
Yep,
and
gaunt.
Her mom's like, you look terrible.
Yep.
And then it's fun because as we get more into this mystery, she gets her pep in her step back, and she just gets hotter and hotter. She
gets hotter by the second.
She starts showering again.
She starts brushing her bangs off to the side. That's all it took for me.
Washing her hair.
I was like, oh man, your bangs are out to the side. You're so hot again.
Wearing cute crop tops.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. She did not she did not go on an eating fest or anything. She's probably actually anorexic while she's at college.
Yeah, probably.
So, I just don't think that their lives would change very much by this whole endeavor.
I don't think so. I think it was.
I think it would have maybe been more effective if they were all killing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we're nailing it right now.
I mean, they certainly thought they were killing it at the time.
Yeah, young and dumb. If you had to guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score is on this movie, what would you guess?
I would guess, I don't know. Critics are so hard to figure out, It's like, do they like the tropes? Is it fun? Is that part of it? Because it is kind of revitalizing the genre a bit. So,
and they did say that the producers said they wanted it very tropey. They wanted it to be like a throwback.
Yeah. So, if we're paying homage to thrillers in general, I'm going to say that it was in the 70s, maybe.
You'd be incorrect. It's a 44%.
No, I didn't want it to be not fresh.
Audience score, 40%. Even lower.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Here's the critics' consensus.
Whoa.
A by-the-numbers slasher that arrived a decade too late. The mostly tedious I Know What You Did Last Summer will likely only hook diehard fans of the genre. Here's what Roger Ebert said. He said, I give it 1 out of 4 stars. The best shot in the film is the first one. It's not a good sign. Entertainment Weekly, though, says JLH can scream from the soul.
She can scream from her soul.
And then I like this clever review. The Chicago Tribune says, this wastes more opportunities than it does teenagers. Those Chi-Town turds.
Gosh, people are so brutal.
Oh my gosh.
So brutal, but I love it.
Me too. Hey, we'll get into more things about the movie here in a second. I've just got like some random trivia, and I know you wanted to talk about sequels a little bit too.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, so Sequel City, here we go. The next movie is called I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, good.
It comes out in 2002, so 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. It's pretty dang bad.
Yeah?
It's got Brandy in it.
I knew Brandy was in it.
Do you want to guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score for that one is?
15.
Lower. It's a 7%er.
Whoa.
The third movie came out in 2006. I did not see this one. This does not have Jennifer Love Hewitt in it. It doesn't have anybody from the original cast in it. I don't know what the story is. I didn't take the time to look at it, and you'll know why here in a second. It's called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Wow.
Came out in 2006. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 0%.
I didn't know they gave 0%.
Now, granted, it only has a few reviews, but still. It's really wild to pull it up and see 0%.
I don't think I've ever seen a 0%
I don't know if I have either.
That's incredible.
Now, Now, what did we find out when we were going to watch this? This is available on Prime for those of you who have Prime. Who want to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer. We found out something new is in the works.
Oh, yeah. We kept seeing previews for a show on Prime.
TV Prime show.
Yeah, a series.
Yep.
An I Know What You Did Last Summer series. Did you look up any info on it?
I did.
We're not getting sponsored, by the way. It's just interesting.
I forgot to grab what the Rotten Tomatoes score was for it, but it's not doing very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the TV show's not doing well. There is a movie that's been stuck in pre-production as well.
Mm-hmm.
The script got done in June. That's all we know.
Another I Know What You Did?
Yeah, like a movie.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
But all we know is it's kind of stuck. And with Amazon making that TV show, I doubt they'll release it.
Mm-hmm.
In France, this movie is called Souviens-toi l'été dernier. Remember last summer?
I do.
That's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
In Quebec, which is also French.
Also French.
It's called Le Pacte du Silence. The Silence Pact. I love it when movies really mess with the title.
I know.
It's like, what?
Take a lot of liberties.
Le Pacte du Silence. Yeah, the Silence Pact.
So scary. It's a
So
silence
scary.
pact. So scary. Très scary.
And in Germany, it's called Le Hook and the Fish.
Wait.
The Fish Hook Man. I'm just kidding. I made that one up. And then I want to get into some of the things that we wrote down as we were watching the movie. But first off, I wanted to tell you that there's a major blooper in this movie. There's a moment towards the end where Jennifer Love Hewitt is running on the docks and she yells instead of, I think her boyfriend's name is maybe like Ray or something like that.
Yeah.
Instead of yelling Ray,
Yeah.
she goes, Freddie!
Wait, and it still made it in the movie?
Yeah, it's in the movie.
No one in town
I
was like,
didn't see it.
Wait a minute.
But it's lovely that made it through post-pro and everything.
No one even
Nobody
thought
caught
twice.
it.
No, because you wouldn't. You'd be like,
Freddie. Yeah, that makes sense. And you know what? From an audience perspective, we probably also feel the same. It's like, I don't remember even noticing it. And I wrote that down before seeing the movie.
But I can.
But if she said
I
Freddie,
can totally
I'd be
picture
like,
it.
yeah, it was Freddie, yeah.
Yeah, he's right here. There he is. He's tall. He's got his hair. He's a fisherman. Yeah, he lives on this boat.
Yeah, it was a real battle of fishermen at the end there.
Battle of wills.
Yep. Who's the better fisherman?
Yeah, for all of the gore and other spots, Freddie at the end, as he was fighting the fish hook man guy, he didn't get a lot of cuts with that hook.
No.
He should have been a lot more scraped up, I would have thought. I know he kept kind of hitting him upside the head with it, but every now and then, shouldn't he have a couple more scratches on him?
Oh, I think he's the fisherman killer is one of the dumbest people at the end of the movie. On that whole boat, He does a lot of like standing and staring and smiling at you, and then he like instead of like moving in for the kill,
Well, yeah.
and he's really relishing it,
Yeah.
But then there's so many moments where like you have the upper hand, just kill one of those teens, so then you only have to deal with one of them. Like I don't know why you keep you keep turning on the other one when you have an easy kill.
Yeah. I mean, so true. Such a trope at the end of anything, right?
Sure.
The killer goes for whoever, but I mean, think about it. Like the man is kind of a genius if we think about all the tricks and the pranks that he pulled off.
Yeah,
like,
he's kind of a prankster at the
how
beginning.
did he find out who these people were and their whole life stories and like what would get at them?
Don't you remember what it is? There's something that drops on the ground when they're escaping the dock.
Yeah. But that's his thing. That's not their
was that
thing.
his thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not to get too complicated, because I did have to ask at the end, like, okay, let me just make sure I got this right. Who that person
Let's
is.
break it down. Because some listeners might be curious too if they've seen the movie.
The piece is that for the longest time, they think they killed the wrong guy.
Yes.
They think they killed this younger guy who was just a couple years older than him.
You see him at the beginning of the movie. He's just twirling this little gizmo.
It says, I love you on it. He looks really sad. He might jump off.
Drinking.
We don't know. But we assume then, like a little bit later in the movie, that's who they hit on the road.
Yep.
And that's who they think they hit for a long, long time, right? Because his body that younger guy, his body washes up in the ocean.
Yep.
So.
And you meet his sister too.
You do meet his sister.
Rach and I disagree. I think Freddie was bangaranging.
No,
I think they were hooking up.
You misheard.
And Rach was like, no, they're just like hanging out. And I was like, dude, I think they hooked up.
She said, and I quote, he was sweet on me. I thought he was sweet on me for a minute.
And then Jennifer Love Hewitt says something to Freddie Prinze about her. And he goes, I can explain, which tells me like, you were gone. We were broke up. I thought it was okay.
No, he's trying to explain why he was there because he wants her to not think that he's the killer.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to try to explain it to you. You obviously don't believe me. All right, so we think it's this young guy this whole time, and then Sarah Michelle finally figures it out that, no, that it wasn't that young guy who they killed. It was actually that young guy had a girlfriend from the year before, and he was actually responsible for her death in an accident.
Sarah Michelle figured this out? I thought it was Jennifer Love.
No, I keep saying their name.
Oh, it's okay.
Gosh, thank you so much.
Just say the brunette or the blonde.
Too many names in one
it's
show.
Hard, especially because they're both three
they're
namers.
all three namers.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Freddie is too. Freddie Prinze Jr. That's a three-namer.
Yeah, can I just say that Ty and I were talking about Freddie Prinze Jr. and we're talking about his career and stuff, and Ty's like, well, his dad was famous, and I was like, oh, who's his dad? And Ty was like, Freddie Prinze. Oh,
yeah,
of course.
He was an actor and stand-up comedian.
His name would be Freddie Prinze Jr. His dad would be Freddie Prinze. That's how juniors work. Anyways.
It was awesome.
Back to my deducing of the killer.
Yeah.
So this father then of this girlfriend that died in an accident seeks vengeance on this young man, and we are assuming that night this father, this fisherman guy, pushes him off the cliff and he drowns in the water. Yep. So there is this body that comes up, but then he gets hit. The dad, this fisherman dad,
after doing that
gets hit on the road, but he is not dead when they dump him in the water, and so then he decides to seek vengeance on all of the
it makes
children.
sense if he woke up and he grabbed her crown, so he'd just need to look at the paper like who won the beauty queen pageant, and then he'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go look at the yearbook. Who's she dating? Oh, I see her and Ryan together there. Oh, look, there's a picture of all four of them in the yearbook. Like he probably had an easy deduction.
I suppose.
And I mean, he definitely saw Sarah Michelle and Ryan's character really up close and personal, so I think he would have been able to identify those two easy.
Yeah, I suppose
and
you're
they're
right.
a small town.
I just think like when he was knocked unconscious, all that we're giving a lot of credit for all of that.
Yeah.
Ugh, fascinating.
And also, he probably goes to the football games and stuff. He probably sees them do activities.
Think so? I don't know.
Think about how we know some of the kids in school, and like they don't know who we are. We're just community members, but we know them because we're like, oh yeah, so and so, they're going to college here. I mean, you kind of know a lot about kids sometimes, which is kind of weird when you think about it. They don't know who you are at all, and you know them as like the quarterback who's going to go to this college.
Yeah, in a town that size especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, it was the dad.
It was the dad.
Let that be a warning to you all, fishermen dads.
What'd you think of some of his pranks?
I'm trying to think of what some of his best ones were. Do you have favorites?
Oh, Sarah Michelle's haircut.
Yeah. That's a pretty great
Hide
one.
in her closet.
Hid in the
I'm
closet.
gonna go up. I'm gonna hide in her closet. Wait for her to fall asleep. See her naked, and then I'm gonna cut her hair off.
Yeah, because I heard her
Awesome.
sister make fun of her for her
she
hair.
loves her hair.
And so yeah, then he cuts her hair, which
Gotcha.
is so crazy.
Suck it. Boosh.
And then he writes on the mirror like "still" or something like
Still
that.
no.
Still no.
Yep.
And she punches it. Iconic scene.
Yep. And then he plays the trick. He's like, "Hey, here's your buddy who's in love with you, Jennifer Love Hewitt, who has crabs all over him. Gotcha,
Yeah.
got your ass." Yep. He's all about pranks for like the whole. Oh, he runs over Ryan Phillippe.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He just kind of
Yeah,
terrorizes
he's like,
him.
gotcha. And he
Steals
even
his
stands over.
jacket.
He stands over him and everything. He's like, "Ha, ran over you, punk," and then runs away.
How do you like it?
Yep. The really only one he leaves alone is Freddie Prinze.
That we know of. We keep that a mystery because we want to think that he's the killer, but
Yeah.
it would have been interesting at some point.
Do you think anything is happening to him? I actually don't. I think that like he doesn't even he like believes their stories, but I think he's like, "Oh, that's crazy. Nothing's happened to me yet."
He did say at one point, he's like, I got a note too.
Oh yeah, that's
I got
right.
a note too. And we're
Yeah.
like, prove it.
Yeah, prove it.
Prove it,
Bring
Fred.
it out. Right. I want to see your penmanship right now.
Meow.
That's one thing. The fisherman has big, blocky, pretty penmanship.
Very easily read from
Very
20 feet
easily.
away.
And unlike anything I've really seen, most people who aren't into lettering do.
It does not strike me as a serial killer's penmanship.
Yeah,
I would
fishermen.
say.
Like,
Or
yeah, I mean, we just
fishermen
see
for
your
that matter.
career. Like, you just see fishermen having really great lettering skills.
Yeah, you could do some stationery for weddings,
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like. You've got a really nice
you don't have
block
to be a fisherman
about you.
anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah. What do you think of Sarah Michelle's haircut?
Oh my gosh, her hair looks so much better.
She looked
Granted,
darling.
it's like a wig half the time earlier, right? When it's all
Sure,
long and
yep.
kind of like ratty. But her being as short as she is, I mean, girl, we can't have hair that long. We just can't. It dwarfs us. We have to have shorter hair. And she's
Yep.
got this like real cute like mid bob. So 90s, so hot, so fresh.
How do you think the killer on his other prank cleans up those crabs so fast? Like, she goes into that house, or Jennifer Love Hewitt does, and it's like, "Everybody, there's crabs and a dead body in my trunk." And then they run out, and the crabs and body are already gone. There's a ton of crabs.
Yeah. What I like to think is that it's probably like 90% preparation, right?
Okay.
So I don't think he just dumped a bunch of crabs and the body in there.
Oh.
I think there's maybe a tarp down,
Yeah.
or maybe even
Or like a
net
bag even.
of
Yeah,
some
yeah,
type.
net's great.
So that's down, and so that way,
She's like, "I gotta grab that
when
net,
he
gotta
needs to
go.
get
Throw
rid
it in
of
the truck,
it,
gotta go." Boosh.
exactly, he can just haul over his shoulder,
Yep.
go hide in the woods.
I bet you're right. I also think it's crazy though that they don't even. Oh, is that after What Are You Waiting For? Do they do What Are You Waiting For there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he definitely heard that too. He's
Oh, he
like,
heard.
"Oh, I'm not waiting anymore. You just said
You're
your
on,
death
Donkey
warrant.
Kong.
Yep.
Here we go.
You want no more pranks? Oh, we'll take it up a
Let's
notch."
do this. Let's do this, little lady.
Who do you think was the best dressed out of our four?
Ooh, I'm just laughing at Freddie Prinze Jr.'s like black tank when we see him the next time because he's a bad boy. He's got a black tank on, but
Oh,
he's got
and then
those, like,
Ryan
big
has a
overalls.
white tank on at the beginning of the movie too, or three parts of the movie too.
Ryan's character is, I don't know if we talked about this, but when we talked about wanting them to be likable, he's the one that is like the least likable by far. It's almost like he's a little bit in his own movie, and you're like,
Yeah.
why are we friends with him?
Yeah, for sure.
No one likes him. You would, yeah.
Yeah.
Even like
Even-
during fun times, he's not that fun. He's really yelly.
For sure.
Listen to yourselves. No, we are going to the police.
We don't have time for your shit! You understand? We gotta move fast! Hey! Let's try to stay calm. Think about it. College? With your scholarship? The guy's already dead. If we go to the police, we're dead too.
And yeah, you wonder
Really
like,
aggressive.
Sarah Michelle, why would you? You're the beauty queen. Like, yeah, he's QB1, but like, he sucks.
Yeah.
Then again, I know other people have dated people who suck.
Well, I love it that they're already broken up that next year.
Yeah.
And then they see each other again, and she's just like, because he said something really rude. She's like, "You're such a dick." It's like, yeah, he
Yeah, he is.
is.
But then at the end, of her moment with him. He's on the balcony looking at her, and she looks up at him, and she like gives him this smile, like longingly, like, and he
That's
smiles
true.
back at her, and you're like, they're getting back together.
They're
Are you
getting back
kidding
together,
me?
baby. Oh,
He's
wait,
the
no, they're
worst.
not.
He's the worst.
And he will die.
He has not changed.
No, he's no arc whatsoever.
Not at all. He's
He
a
has
terrible person still.
plateaued.
Oh, yeah, but that look, you're like, oh no.
Oh no, here we go again, you two. Can't stay away.
Yep. Yeah,
Best dress.
JLH had these really cute overalls on at one point.
I think she probably was the best dress. I am not a fan of the PC bangs. I wish she had
Yeah.
a fuller bang or no bang.
Yep.
None of this.
No bang.
No wispy bang.
Ty picks no bangs.
Although it was a very 90s thing, as I recall.
Yep, it was.
But yeah, she's got the overalls, and then she's got the cute crop tops,
Mm-hmm.
and she's got the fun little blossom hat at the beginning.
Yeah,
the
she
big
does have that big
floppy
blossom hat.
Which, why did the fisherman have it at the end? When did she wear that hat? When
I
did she
don't
lose
know.
it?
That's another prank he pulled. He's like, got your hat.
Got your hat, girl. Got your blossom hat. And
Yeah,
but you
quick.
don't know you lost it.
Get on my fisherman's boat. I planted that blossom hat for you.
so confused.
Got your
When I
hat.
saw it, I was like, wait, is that her hat? Why does he have her hat?
Yep.
So confused.
You could totally tell the writer wrote this before Scream, because Scream has such like a clever ending with like so many things that are explained.
Yes.
And in this one, there's just like the setups don't really make sense, and the reveals are like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Why does that? Why would you do this? Or, like
That's
you
a
try to
great
picture
point.
them doing what they do, and you're like, that doesn't even make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why I thought it was Freddie Prinze for so long too, because I didn't know when it came out in relation to Scream, if it was before or after that, but just
Sure,
that
your boyfriend's
yeah,
the killer
that
thing.
least person you respect or suspect, I think is just a fascinating thing in horror movies. So
Yep. Yeah.
I think it would have been cooler if it was Freddie Prinze, but
Sure.
they didn't like hint at it, or like he was more a part of like some of the moments, you know. But
Yep.
it doesn't
he-
work because in Scream it works because it has more people involved in it. So.
And he's in the second one. Oh, we never talked about this.
What?
So the
Who's the
killer
second
in
one?
second one, what's the fisherman's name in this first one? His name is Ben.
Ben.
And then in the second movie,
Okay.
there's the character who you think gets killed early on, but ends up he's the killer, kind of like Scream style.
Okay.
And his name is something Benson. Ben's son.
Oh, that's a bit of a stretch. I
That's
don't
the
think,
real. He's
I
like,
don't think that's very.
Benson? Oh, really? Oh, by the way, I figured out her name. Her name was Julie James. Oh, really, Julie James? You didn't realize Benson? Ben's son? Ben's son?
Oh, I hope it's. I hope the
don't know.
delivery is just.
I don't
like
know if he
that.
does it 3 times, but I hope it is
I would
too.
need it 3
We're
times.
going to try to
'cause I'd be
find
like,
it on YouTube
"What?
afterwards.
Wait, what are you
You
saying?
remember the fisherman Ben who you hunted down in the first movie? Benson? Ben's son?
Ben's son. I am Ben's son.
Ben's son, you dumbass.
It would literally have to be that like. Oh,
Yeah, I know. I like it
was
when she's like,
supposed to
what?
think that was clever?
Huh? Oh,
I'm sorry,
Ben's.
what?
Wait, that Ben's son or a different Ben? Who are we talking
so
about?
confused. Why did you change your name to that?
Tell me why.
Why, come on, Jules, think about it. You'll get it. Will Benson? Ben's son. Hi, Dad.
She's not in it, is she?
Yeah, she is. She's the protagonist again.
Oh my gosh.
And
really?
Freddie Prinze is in it.
Really?
Yeah, they're both in it.
I didn't know that. You just
Yeah.
said Brandy.
And then
You
Brandy.
you
No,
didn't say
Brandy's the
anything
friend.
about-
Brandy's the Sarah Michelle Gellar part. She gets killed. I'm almost positive.
I mean, she's not that Sarah. She's a new friend, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, she's not Sarah Michelle.
Yeah, I know.
reincarnated as
We
Brandy.
brought Sarah Michelle Gellar back.
Hey,
but
but
we put her in Brandy's body.
Wasn't
She
that
could
so
sing
fun?
Cinderella show tunes all night long.
when you won the pageant that year ago. Yeah, girl. Yeah. Okay.
Remember that crazy dream you had about the fisherman and stuff?
Okay. Very cool. But the second one, it's also not Freddie Prinze Jr. is not the killer in that one either.
No, Ben's son is.
I just
Benson.
thought maybe he would change his name or something. All right. I just think they had a missed opportunity because he's just so darn cute. You would never see it coming.
Freddie Prinze.
He doesn't have any facial hair.
Yeah.
What killer doesn't have facial hair?
The killers in Scream don't have facial hair.
But they could make it. You could see them
Stubbly.
getting away with like a wiry little stash.
Yeah,
You
for
could
sure.
see it
Absolutely.
happening.
Which I think Freddie Prinze probably can grow a wiry stash too.
Maybe now. Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably has some scruffle. He
Uh-huh.
is
Scruffle.
He is gray. He's
He
been gray
is.
for a very long
Yep.
time.
Yep. He did
He's
turn
kinda-
very gray.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, youngish gray too, because
Uh-huh.
he's in his 40s now,
Yeah,
right?
they're all in their 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. But he looks great. Silver
Mhm.
Fox.
Yeah, he does
Silver
look. He looks
Fox.
tremendous still.
Tremendous.
SMG, I saw her. I saw some photos of her recently while I was
Yeah.
doing research for the show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You just Googled some
I
photos
put
of
in Sarah Michelle Gellar, super sexy, and she's still as cute as a button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they have pictures together, like from recently. I think they had a baby recently too, and they're like so cute. You're like, oh my gosh, I just want to pinch both of your cheeks.
I love your story.
So, what did you think of the acting in this movie?
Tremendous. Exponential.
Exponential.
I don't know
Well, I
what
don't
that
even know what it
means.
means, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it if somebody said that. What did you think of Ty's acting in
Anything.
yeah, Killer Clowns the Musical? And you're like, exponential.
Exponential. Just exponential.
Well, if your exponent 0, that means it's a 1 out of 10. So.
I know, whatever it is, it's that times 1,000. I thought it was actually, I didn't think it was bad. I had a good time with it. Like,
Yeah.
again, like people are gonna hate because of the tropes and because of the plot itself maybe being a little cliche, but
Okay, I want to play a game called Which is Scarier?
Witches?
Which is Scarier? By the way, you've seen the Roald Dahl Witches movie, right?
No.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if we watched that movie seriously terrified me as a kid.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
With
and they have the new one with Anne Hathaway.
Angelica Houston. in
Yeah,
it?
Angelica Houston. She's so scary, babe.
Oh, eyebrows for days.
Oh, dude, that movie is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Legit scary.
I would watch it.
But anyways, I want to play a game called Which is Scarier. So I know what you did last summer against Halloween 3.
Halloween 3 was the one with
Masks.
the masks.
Bug masks.
I know what you did is scarier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you did last summer versus the Friday the 13th remake.
Friday the 13th remake.
I know what you did last summer versus It.
It.
I know what you did last summer versus It 2.
It too.
I know what you did last summer versus the original Halloween.
Original Halloween.
I know what you did last summer versus that 10 Minutes of Fear Street that you saw.
10 Minutes of Fear Street that I saw.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
didn't think it was super scary. It made me jump a lot of times at the jump screams, but I just, again, this was a great choice for me because when we've got the 90s piece, we've got these hotties, like, yeah, I can watch this for the most part.
Now, do you think you weaseled your way out of a scary movie this year?
If you were being honest with yourself,
Yeah.
do you think you got cheated?
Be honest with yourself and tell me, did you cheat your husband out of a scary movie?
Well, I mean, it's not like I had like a wonderful night's sleep. Like there was
That
a
was because
time.
it was a Sunday. You had work the next day.
We don't know, but there was a time, when the pups needed to go out, like at 3, that I was like,
I know, and you made me go out twice in a row.
I don't think I want to get out of this bed right
But
now.
you did get up at some point and you let Penny out.
Yeah, I let her out at got her up at 4, and then we went out. Giz had to go to the bathroom at 5. So
Oh.
for all your whining about, I got to get up twice, like, yeah, I did twice too. So.
Oh, well, it sounds silly that you had to get up twice.
Well, those are
Why
our
didn't
dogs.
Giz go potty when
Our
you got
dogs
Penny?
are ridiculous.
Did you not get Giz
And
out? Is this a...
We have spoilt them incredibly with their nighttime routine. We got to get them back on track.
They need to stop eating now.
Yeah, we should go put the food up.
Yep,
Yeah, we got to be better puppy parents.
for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
boundaries.
yeah, definitely. So you would say you cheated your husband out of a scary movie or not?
I wouldn't say that. It wasn't like it was easy, but I had a great time. And maybe there's a part of me that's just getting better at this whole.
So you're
watch a
saying that we
scary
can
movie
watch
thing.
2 a year?
I did not say that. I'm just
You're saying
enjoying
you'll watch
it
the
more.
new Candyman with me.
No, definitely not.
You're saying you would watch... I went to the Halloween movie in theaters. You want to go see it in theaters?
Absolutely not.
You
Absolutely
want to
not.
you want to see that new Chucky TV show?
Nope.
All right. I'll keep working on it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll make that happen. Do you have a scariest movie ever? Or favorite scary movie?
Scariest movie ever. It's hard because I've seen chunks of scary movies that were very scary. Like I've seen chunks of The Conjuring, and I've seen chunks.
You've seen all Conjuring. I know
of-
you hid your head, but you
I'm
saw
so
it all.
scared. Of the movie Annabelle. What was the other one? We were just talking about this, scary movies. What were some of
Yep.
yours that are the scariest?
I mean, for me, I love the original Halloween. That is I mean, Killer Clowns is my favorite scary movie, but that's fun scary.
Yeah, that's not
it's not even
that's
scary.
not
It's
scary.
more. It's 90% fun, 10%
It's a Halloween
scary.
movie.
Yeah, it's almost up
It's
there
like
with Hocus Pocus.
You don't like
It's about as
Casper,
scary as
yeah,
Hocus Pocus.
It's not scary.
But I love the original Halloween. That might be my favorite scary movie of all the time.
Which you made me watch, which is scary.
Yeah,
Except
I love it.
I couldn't watch a couple scenes.
It
but yeah.
builds, the anticipation builds for like an hour. You don't even get your first death till like over an hour in, but the whole movie's so entertaining and so good. The acting's great and the suspense is building the whole time. You don't even care.
You don't even care.
It's so good. It's so good. And then I love The Exorcist.
I've never seen
That
it.
freaked my poopy out when I was a little kid. Oh my gosh, I almost pooped my pants.
I'm sure.
Oh,
That
so
would be scary now.
scary. Those two. I liked Paranormal Activity 2.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Oh,
And bits of The Ring are scary.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the whole, but most of The Ring.
I just read that article and went through the scariest movies of all time according to your heart rate. They did a scientific test.
That's right.
And they judged like per minute how fast your heart was beating. The movie that was number one on this list, which scared me so much, and then the last 25% of the movie got ruined by the ending. But the 75% of the movie, I was literally I could barely sit still. I was freaking out. Was the movie Sinister. If you haven't seen Sinister, watch the first 2/3, and then when you see little kids running around a house, just stop it. It's over. It's like you don't want to see the ending.
It's not scary anymore.
Before that moment, the whole movie is just so freaking freaky.
Oh, I mean, that sounds like it got freaky with little kids running around the house. I would be like,
no,
I'm
it
out.
didn't. It
I'm
was
out.
stupid.
All
It got
right.
dumb the whole last 25%. But anyways, that movie was number one on the scientific score, and I agree with that to
Yeah.
a strong degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well
Yep.
done.
Do you have one?
I don't know if I could pick. Like, I have to pick scenes from different ones. I'm
Yeah.
probably going to lean towards Paranormal
Yep.
Activity a bit, just because I remember that's one of the last movies that I remember watching as an adult and then had to sleep with a light on in the next room. Like, in my 20s. I was like, I can't sleep. The lights need to be on right now.
I remember that. In Paranormal 2, I went to that in the theater with Johnny and Paul, and Paul literally screamed when the kitchen pots all fall in that scene. Paul screamed. He goes, ah! No,
it's during the day.
there was a movie called
during the day.
Host where it's like a Zoom movie. It was made during the pandemic. It's like a
Oh.
ghost story. They do a seance and then demons come out or whatever. And crazy stuff happens to all the people in the Zoom meeting. That movie freaked me out. You were on the couch with me and you saw my faces. There were moments of Paranormal where like all the cabinets open and shit flies out and it's like, ah! Like I wanted to scream so bad. It was super freaky. So that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll pass.
You'll never see it.
I'll never see it.
It's like The Strangers. I don't want you to ever see it.
I don't need to see it. Thank you.
Yeah, it'll freak you out.
Thank you.
Well, tell us about this movie. Tell us your score.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
any other things that you wanted to chat about.
I think I got everything. Oh, the one question that I have yet that is not answered and we did talk about is how big is that boat?
Oh yeah, the boat looks like it's small, like it just has one little under the boat section, but the stuff she climbs in, there's like a whole fish freeze area where all the dead bodies are. There's like
multiple
compartments that are pretty
rooms,
big.
many boiler rooms.
And I was like, it's not that big of
huge.
a boat.
It was huge. So, I don't know, just
Yeah.
something to think about. Could be, I haven't been on a boat that big, so I don't know.
Maybe it's like a glacier. 10% is above water. 90%.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, very cool.
Your life is like a glacier. 10% is realized potential, and 90% is possibilities.
Oh, is that like a
I don't know.
motivational poster? or
Hang in
something?
there.
Everyone knows the cat poster we're talking about.
Yo, the hang in there cat poster. If you don't know what we're talking about, look it up. Just type in hang in there educational poster.
Best motivational posters ever.
Yeah, keeps you going every day.
All right. So my rating for this, late 90s fashion, smoking hot cast. This slasher is an OG and deserves respect. 27%.
27% for a scary movie. That's pretty decent.
This
for
is
you.
my highest scary movie rating that we watched.
Oh.
I enjoyed it. Now, what I'll say is you talked about things being scarier, and
Yep.
the Friday the 13th remake was much scarier than
Yeah,
this.
you gave that movie like a 7%.
I did because I don't like it.
Yep.
But it's a better scary movie.
Uh-huh.
And yet I had way more fun watching this one.
Yep.
And I just liked it better. So yeah, this is, I think I put it right above Starship Troopers, which is how apropos is that?
Yeah, but Starship Troopers was above this.
Well, not on my list. Not on my list.
So I'm going to give this movie significantly higher than you, but
Yeah.
still rotten.
Mhm.
I'm going to give it a 59%.
Okay.
It is above Devil Wears Prada and below P.S. I Love You.
All right then.
Yep.
That feels right.
Yeah, it does feel right. I think it needs more kill, it needs more blood to be a slasher, or it needs
Sure.
more creativity and suspense to be a thriller.
Yeah.
I think it needed to go one way or
It
the other.
needed just a scotch more one way or the other.
Mhm.
Either, yeah, you're a bad slasher with lots of blood, or you're a real page turner. And I'm really thinking like, oh, wow, that's pretty brilliant how they came up with who
that's
the killer
cool.
was.
Yep.
Ben's son? What?
You probably like number 2 a
I
lot.
probably would like number 2 more. Like, that's pretty brilliant. Oh.
We're going to go try to find that scene, by the way.
Yeah, let's do
I'm going to
it.
try to figure that out. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our Halloween special.
Yay.
Who knows? We might have more specials for you down the road. We'll see what happens. But we love doing this, and we love that you guys tune in. So thank you. Thank you. Shout out to some of our fans and some of our friends who have stuck with us for a long time.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, thank you, friends. Thank you, the Rachel Folkses of the world, and some of you
Appreciate
other
you.
lovelies.
Appreciate
We'll
you.
see you on down the road. Hugs and kisses, everybody.
Toodles. You hear the mouth noises? Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, I did.
Ugh, spitty.
What are you waiting for, huh?